Steve Tudor from Polyhedron Collider, and we're here at the UK Games Expo 2016. I'm here with Ben Loomes from Syrinscape and Dice Stormers. Woohoo! Yeah, welcome to the UK.
Thank you. I'm loving it. I love the UK. I love the beautiful countryside, and I love the people most of all.
Ah.
Oh, nice.
So you brought with us Syrinscape to show off. So, what is Syrinscape?
Syrinscape is an app that creates incredibly beautiful, immersive, dramatic music and sound effects for tabletop games. So say you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, you want to have a red dragon come and eat all the people and destroy the town. Instead of just a 15-minute recorded loop of a particular sequence of events that will recur over and over and over again, Syrinscape takes all the elements of that horror, the dragon roars, the people screaming, the buildings crashing. They're all individually customizable elements. You can turn them off, you can turn them on. You can mix in sounds from the thunderstorm, sound set. You can wet your players and roast them at the same time.
Okay. So how does that work? How do you do all this, basically?
There's basically a tab on the left-hand side. There's a long list of sound sets here. Normally we've just got 3 showing here today. Yeah. You go to Red Dragon tab. Boom. Let's actually use what we've got here. You go to the Bugbear battle. You click that shows it's ready to go. And you would just click Battle Begins and say, roll for initiative, suckers. You hear the war cry of some bugbears, music starts, you've got sort of dramatic music running, you've got the sounds of weapons clashing. So you don't want that music, you can turn it off. Or you can turn it down, turn it up, do all sorts of things. You've also got some spell effects you can set off. Well, I'm pushing the one that isn't plugged in. Right, you've got some spell effects you can set off. We're trying to just do it at once here. Yeah, and as I said, you can mix together pirate battle sounds with red dragon battle sounds. You can mix together the beautiful elven valley with a trickling stream. Everything's completely customizable, but set upable before you play. The whole point is that you have that bugbear battle running, and when you're ready for it to stop, you just hit a single button and the battle ends.
Okay.
I was basically running YouTube videos and sort of cassette tapes and CDs and things, and trying to manage them and get the right thing happening at the right time, and having a lot of trouble. So I pretty much just made this for my own table to take that sort of management and confusion away from the game master.
Okay. So just came from something you made just to help yourself.
Really? Oh yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So was it an app right from the beginning then?
I wrote about 5 years ago a version for myself using Python, which is a language that is nice and easy, has some great multimedia sort of add-ons.
Yeah.
And I made that. I shared it on the internet as freeware, and people just went, "Oh my god, it's so great! I want to have it on my iPad and make me more sounds." I was like, "Whoa!" So we got together and formed a company, and 3 years ago we had an app that was functioning across all the platforms. I went to PaizoCon and rocked up. I tried to organize some meetings before I got there, but they're busy organizing PaizoCon. I grabbed Eric Mona and the third-party coordinator person, got them in a room, handed them the app and said, "Hey, have a look at this. We'd love to build some stuff for Pathfinder." And they were like, "Oh, this is really good." So yeah, now we have a license with Paizo to make the official sounds for the Pathfinder role-playing game. So we're giving voice to the monsters, we're populating the towns, which is really, really wonderful.
And they're linked, aren't they? So if you want to do a specific adventure like Rise for the Rune Lords, you've got the full Rise of the Rune Lords set ready to go.
That's the big thing we do for Paizo, is we take an adventure path and you can actually just step through the book and step through the sound. So that prep I was talking about before, where you take your red dragon and you turn on the thunderstorm, you don't actually have to do that when you're running Rise of the Rune Lords, because it's all set out for you already, which is really, really cool. So if there's an encounter in Rise of the Rune Lords where there's a dragon and a thunderstorm and there's ogres there and gnomes, well, we've mixed that all together and you've just got a one-button push. Okay. Plus some of the really big speeches from some of the bad guys are in there as well, which is really, really cool. Yeah. And some of the sort of traps are a really good thing in Syrinscape. So your players are chatting, walking through the dungeon. You just reach over and you just touch the trap button and suddenly, oh my god, your players are leaping out of their chairs. They're keen to make that save because that trap sounded really, really brutal. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you go about getting the sounds? Because you've got a whole variety. You've just mentioned dragons, ogres, thunderstorms, traps.
Yeah.
How you made all these?
That's a great question. make about 50% of the sounds in-house from scratch.
Right.
So seriously, I will get going here. You'll have to like grab me by the throat to stop me, 'cause it's really fascinating and fun. But armor foley, so the jingle of some metal connections and rustled leather is actually my laptop bag. My laptop bag being shaken in front of the microphone. I did arrow impact sounds the other day, which is literally me swooshing a stick in front of the microphone, me banging my hand on the desk, and then me hanging a ruler over the edge of the desk to make the bum sound. So that's super, super cool. Oh gosh. And then about 30% of the sounds I get from various different community sound file sharing communities, which I love. So there was, in a recent Rise of the Moonlords adventure, there's this huge gout of rushing flame tower death thing. And I actually found on freesound.org a fantastic sample that I was able to use and give credit to the creator, which was the sound of a wind turbine rushing, spinning, and cutting through the air. And it's uncanny how accurate it sounds. So and then we employ voice actors, and we've been collecting sounds at the cons where we go around to and getting people to give us dragon roars and hero cries and screams. Lots of fun.
Okay. So you've got that at the convention here today, haven't you?
Yeah. We're auditioning for Ethanathor, who's the big hero dragon in the next chapter of Hell's Rebels.
Okay.
He's got some lines. He's brutal. We're actually doing live processing of the voices, so people can come and stick their headphones on and roar into the microphone and hear the actual processed, pitch shifted, mutated dragon roar sound. It's very
that
cool.
Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you have to have a go at that later.
Oh yeah, come on.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, being Welsh, I've got a bit of a thing for dragons.
Oh yeah,
so.
yeah. If you can roll your R's or anything like that, then you're going to be doing
good.
Yeah,
on a bit of an accent.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
right. A Welsh dragon.
Yeah.
That'd be the genuine thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Welsh
you're
dragon.
booked.
Yeah,
You're booked.
okay.
That's right.
Well, we'll come later then. But Fantasy's not the only ones you do, is it? You've got other sets going.
So we have a sci-fi player, which is dedicated to sci-fi adventures. We've just signed a license with Green Ronin, who produce Mutants and Masterminds.
Okay.
So we're super, super excited about that. So we've just put out the first 2 sound sets of superheroes punching each other in space, which is great. Really, really fun.
How do you make it in space?
We have sort of schlocky, cheesy musical stings, like except not with my voice, obviously. And then sort of big, great big woof punches, and yeah, it's very, very cool. In Syrinscape, in an element, when you pull in, say you want the dogs barking, you can actually set the acoustic environment of that element.
Oh right, so you've got reverb built into it.
Yeah, reverb dynamically built in. So let's unpack Syrinscape a tiny bit. You've got all those elements I talked about in that town where the red dragon's attacking.
Yeah.
You've got dragon roars, women screaming, carts being crashed, and one of those is the dogs. So the dog element takes care of itself completely independently of everything else. It picks up from a library of dog woofs. At a random time interval, it places that dog element in a random direction at a random distance and applies, in this case, a city echo, which is kind of reasonably dry but has a bit of an echo, and then plays that sound back. And then it waits another randomized amount of time before it does the next one. So Syrinscape can never repeat itself.
Okay.
Because which all goes back to this one moment where I was playing a role-playing game at the table, and I'd sort of cobbled together a 15-minute loop of some sounds, because I've always thought sound should be in role-playing games, like the kind of sound works in movies, so it works at the tables too. And my players literally stopped the game and all went, ruff, ruff, oh! Because it was like the 7th time they'd heard that. And instead of immersing the players, it was actually taking them out of immersion and making them realize they were listening to something that was fake and pre-recorded. So that's essentially, I started trying to make my pre-recorded tracks longer and longer and longer. That was crazy. And I thought, surely a computer is something you can set up to do kind of an iterative process where it just sort of takes care of itself. Yeah. So the thing that made me think of that is there's an echo effect that makes it sound spacey. Okay. Kind of a slightly sucky bit of reverb and then a kind of a trail off, which makes you feel like you're in that acoustic.
Yeah. Okay, being a bit audio geeky for a second.
Oh yeah, yay!
Reverb is notoriously processor intensive. So how you managed to get that to work so well on phones and mobile devices, really?
It's just actually the power of the devices.
Okay.
Hugely the power of the devices. So this wouldn't have been possible 5 years ago. Okay. Absolutely, definitely not. And in fact, when we launched the app 3 years ago, it really wasn't possible on phones. Okay. So the processing power of these things has gone up hugely. Yeah. Every now and then when someone sort of asks about the processing speed, and they sit about kind of 5 to 10% when it's running, which is hugely powerful. And we're often playing 20 to 30 different samples simultaneously, all positioned dynamically. You can even do Doppler effect if we're going to really geek out.
Go on then.
Okay, so you can do Doppler effect. So I can set off, say I'm in a dungeon environment that's cursed by ghosts.
Yeah.
I can set the ghosts off at random distances surrounding the listener.
Yeah.
It works in surround sound, so if you're surround sound, you'll hear it in surround, otherwise it's just a stereo effect. And the ghosts will rush past the listener with the Doppler. Whoa, 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 kind of effect.
That's really cool.
So it's really freaky, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you've mentioned the fancy one,
Yep.
sci-fi one. Did I see a submarine one?
There's a board game player as
The
well we
board game
haven't
one?
mentioned,
Oh, okay.
absolutely. Yeah, so we have the license with Catan
Right.
to produce sound effects for the Catan board game.
Okay.
You've got to hear it to believe it. Apart from creating the beautiful island setting,
Yeah.
and sheepies and the sound of trees being chopped down. Probably the best thing about that sound set is the robber. You know how in Catan when you roll a 7, it's like,
Yeah.
7, okay, and you move the robber. And 7 is obviously the most frequently hit number in 2d6.
Yeah.
But now we have a robber sound effect. I've got 60 samples recorded of the robber, and the first thing it does is a sad trombone.
I'm gonna say it was a sad trombone.
Absolutely. And then this robber, this voice actor we got, just went mental. And he's like, "Oh, I like all your pretty stuff. I'll start with, oh no, just give me it all." And there's 60 of these things, and we've set it on random. Usually the one shots are set on shuffle, so you have to hear every single one before you hear a repeat ever.
Yeah.
We've actually set this one on random, so you might hear the same one a couple of times, but there might be one you never hear. Like maybe you play 7 different games of Catan and finally you get a brand new robber. So yeah, and we've also got a license with R&I Games to Spike and Spellcaster, and about 4 different board games which will be coming out at or before Gen Con, which is really cool.
So people want to know about Soundscape. Where can they go?
Syrinscape.com, Syrinscape.com. There's a great demo video on the homepage, which will just give you a straight up demonstration of what it sounds like. And then you can download it for free from the App Store or the Play Store or on Mac or PC. Give it a go on your device, listen to the 2 free sound sets that comes with each player, and then you can register an account and buy some individual content if you like, or subscribe just to unlock the entire thing. And there's Syrinscape.com/free trial. Gets you a complete unlock for 30 days, normal thing. If you let it run, then you'll just stay being a subscriber, and we bless you. And otherwise you can just cancel it and get rid of it, but that won't happen. No. And and then once you're using it, definitely hit the forums. There's some great videos that we've made about how to get the most out of it with some extraordinary hidden features which you might know about.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for spending your time showing this to us.
It's a pleasure.
Enjoy the rest of the expo.
Thank you.